Hello everyone, it is Michelle, Letters from Nantucket. Really excited to be with you on YouTube today. I've been wanting to share my process with you all for a while, and I'm excited to finally have a good setup. This is my first video, so bear with me. I'm still getting used to the new workspace and everything, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. So right now I'm just sort of walking you through, this is my second Traveler's Notebook insert of 2016, my first few pages. Little Thanksgiving journaling right there. You might remember these from Instagram. It's my scrap paper page with some wrapping paper bits, and then my current week last week, and I'm trying to do December daily journaling. So that right there is December 1st, and the page that I'll be working on will be for December 2nd. I have this page from this really great book that I got at the Getty, and I love the book, but I don't look at it anymore, so I think it's a good time to start using some of the great images. So this is the one that I pulled out for today. And what I like to do after I have my sort of inspiration pieces in mind is I just start sorting through my stash. These are all these great die cuts from Mail Made Easy. You can find her on Etsy. I recommend it. And then everything else in these takeout boxes are all bits and pieces that have been sent to me from my pen pals, my wonderful, darling, glorious pen pals. And I love to sort through things, and I just start, when I start with one image, I pull things that inspire me off of that, and I usually find that imagery, color, stories, they develop naturally. So I've got this neat sort of floral, sort of Renaissance vibe going on, and as I sort through my stash, I'm finding all these great things. That card is from a pen pal, Stamp It, Send It on Instagram. I absolutely love it, and I'm excited to pull that out and use along with that big sticker. These are some great travel tag stickers that I found at a local shop on Nantucket called Parchment. If you are on the island, you should definitely stop there and go through all the paper goodies. They're pretty incredible. And I am just flipping through, and again, I'm really looking at color to go along with my little pile on the right. So another box of goodies, can you believe it? My stash is pretty out of control, and I have some plans. These are typewriter cards that I work on, so I picked out one of those, but I'm thinking that it's time to put together some pretty awesome giveaway packages to spread the love a little bit, because I am a very blessed woman when it comes to pen pals and friends who support my creative habits. This is my washi bowl. Again, my stash is unreal, so I like to pull things out and put them in front of me, and I'm pulling out the washi box. Yep, it's a problem, but the best problem ever to have. And again, I'm just pulling things out that sort of go along with the feel and the story that I'm putting together with my bits and pieces for the day's journal. And then I like to spread everything out and give myself a nice visual setup to move forward and get rocking and rolling. I don't know if you can see on the top right, you can see a clear bag full of stamps. Those are all stamps that I have recently cut off of all my pen pal letters from the past couple years. I've been wanting to do it for so long, and I finally got around to it. So I've always got those close by to play with. And then this is another box of paper fun to sort through. These are some recent finds from some great Etsy shops. I'm sort of obsessed with everything from Japan and China and the Philippines when it comes to paper products, so I definitely take advantage of Etsy and find delicious little treasures on there to bring in and incorporate into what I'm doing. These are great little icon location stickers that I want to create a little village and live in there of all these delicious buildings, so I have been trying to incorporate them into pretty much everything that I'm doing. Mail, journaling, planning, anything like that. I just think they're so fantastic, and they remind me of Europe, and they remind me of traveling, and they remind me of what a beautiful place the world is. So now that I've gone through all of my bits and pieces, I'm ready to start going. So I'm cutting out this great circular image from the alchemy book, the Getty Alchemy book, and knowing that that's sort of the inspiration piece, it's sort of, you know, where I want to begin. I'm tearing out some of the words as well to use as background imagery. I really like popping some of that in to get rid of the plain white background. And here we go. That quote, that Kurt Vonnegut quote, is really lovely, and I'm placing it against this Journey from the Center of the Earth quote. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to go with for this spread, but I ended up choosing the Vonnegut one, and it's just, it's wonderful. Be soft. Do not let the world make you hard. Do not let pain make you hate. Do not let the bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place. And this just seemed really on point right now for where I am personally, political climate, all sorts of things. You know, there's so much going on that really distracts my eye from all of the blessings and all of the beauty in life. And journaling is definitely my place to remember those things and to sort of reset my inner metric for joy and happiness on a daily basis. So I was excited to use this quote for my pen pal Sarah. And Sarah, if you're watching, thank you. Again, she's on Instagram at Stamp It Send It, and she's wonderfully creative and a delightful, bright soul. So spread the love with her. This great sort of Marie Antoinette card was sent to me, and you can see I'm starting to build my layers. That giant sticker, I actually did a loose cut out so it would be easier for me to play with the background. And this is where, when I start picking up layers, and I start with background and move forward, and I just love to build composition and contrast. So that's what I'm doing, and I have to apologize that probably the bottom eighth of my book is off camera, but I'll push it back up by the end so you can see it. Again, new processes create waves for new trial and error situations, and this is definitely one of mine. So thank you for coming along with me. I've got that postage stamp in the bottom that sort of goes along with it, and here I'm just sort of marking things out because I'm ready to start placing and getting things rocking and rolling on the page. So I think, like most people, I start with background, move to my big placed objects, and go. I decided that I wanted a gold washi tape background for all of these great images to float on. So that's what I'm doing right now, just a little frame, and then some of the bits and pieces for my loose layout that I know would show, I'm going to pop down and put on there. I wanted to use the gold too to sort of tie in the color story from the past page and keep with the December festive holiday feel, because this page is definitely a little lighter in palette. I would say it's sort of like that big sticker, teals, yellows, and pinks. So the gold helped me, again, just keep a little bit of consistency in the storytelling from December 1, and I think gold will probably be the thread of December that ties all of my layouts together, but as we move forward, you shall see. Here I am putting in that great cutout that sort of brought all of this together, layering in my Marie Antoinette girl. I really love how that top bit works. Now I'm covering up the bottom with the word tear out, and to keep that tear feel, I'm tearing up that card as well, so the rough edges sort of are consistent throughout that bottom. The imaging on the back of that sheet is cool too, which is why it was hard for me to decide to use the words, but ultimately I think I did the right thing, because when I want to go into journal 2, I'll be able to write over the copy from the book, and here I am just sort of working with my layout to try and get those two. This is not the most graceful part of my process at the moment that you're seeing, but you know, after getting the background down, I was able to put the rest of the glue on the quote card because I only used one strip of glue as I was laying all the bits below it and getting my layers set. So I'm finally putting in my Marie Antoinette on top, and the background is pretty much done. I have this great girl holding flowers that I wanted to put on the bottom, and I think Marie Antoinette and the image from the alchemy book sort of represent an old world structure, and the quote is really about, you know, in face of hard times, make sure you you remember how beautiful life is and don't lose that. And I thought the girl holding the flowers was a nice little reminder of everyday beauty that really unites us and keeps us moving forward in our little communities. So that's sort of my intellectual mindset on this piece, and here I am adding that glorious stamp. And again, I think that stamp, I chose it because it played along with the imagery up top, but it also sort of has a nice holiday feel with its religious imagery on there. So I'm giving it a nice little washi border, which I really love that vintage washi postage. It's thin, you'll see it in a lot of my things, and I'm popping that in. And this is, I'm getting to the really fun part of layout at this point, which is just embellishing fun little touches here and there, and cleaning up. I really love how this page is turning out. I have to add my beautiful little old world European building up top, because those stickers are just too wonderful not to use, and you can see the other one on the left hand page. It creates a nice little balance up top, and this is where I start picking up the little bits and pieces I have left behind in play. That's a fun little cutout from a piece of paper that almost ended up in the trash, but I like the floral imagery and it works so well on this page. Again, that's what I love about scrap journaling. You really bring life to things, and I'm getting a little fussy with bits and pieces at this point, but it's taking shape, and I can't stress enough just how excited I was with the way this page turned out. What I'm doing now is just seeing if there are any sort of final bits and pieces that I can add, and while I sort of noodle that through, one of my favorite steps is when you go and you clean up the edges, because then when you flip it over, you sort of have that like great reveal moment of the layout that you've been working on. I'm such a nerd, but it's one of my most favorite moments in scrapbooking. So that's coming along, and here I am cutting that really hard page, which is always the opposite of the page that you cut with. But there it is, and it's looking really, really well. Straightening it out a little bit, putting it all down. I really love, like a lot of folks on YouTube, I really love the glue dot roller. I think it's such a nice way to keep the process going and also keep it a little clean. So I highly recommend. I use the Scotch one. It's fantastic. The refills are easy to find, and when they come in, it's easy to pop in and out and keep going. So that is a product I think every crafter should have. It'll just make your life a little bit easier. So now that I'm sort of at the final stages, I'm looking at all the washi tape that I picked out that I hadn't had a chance to use yet. So I'm going in and adding some borders to the great quote. I'm trying to liven up the page a little bit, and I want just a little bit of brightness on here. So first I pick up the gemstone washi, and I just didn't really see a good spot for it. I was distracted by some little black and white critters. I wanted to sort of bring that black and white illustration element down from the top to the bottom as well, which is where the mushroom and the rabbit came in. And I like how that all turned out. I pick up this washi tape that's sort of these watercolor labels, and I just want like a few bursts here and there. Whenever I add a burst, I work in threes. Like I like odd numbers, so it'll be 1, 3, 5, or 7 or more. So I'm gonna fussy cut these labels out and pop them into different spots on the page. What I realized was that there wasn't a lot of room for journaling left, which is totally okay, but I wanted to put a little blurb on because I taught my scrapbooking class this day, so I wanted to add a little space where I could highlight that out. I also wanted to cut out another one of these little labels to write "'Tis the Season" on, just to again keep that holiday feel. And one more up top for the dates. That's what that green guy is, right up at the top. And here comes the little one down for the bottom, which is where I'll be putting the "'Tis the Season" bubble that I was talking about. So that's going in. At this point, I'm gonna start, again, quick trim. So for me, this is really when I just start to push a little bit and try and add as much as possible without going too far, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But all in all, I am loving this page so much, and I'm so thrilled that December is off to such a great creative start. All finished. It's looking good. I just adore all of the colors on these two pages. I'm in a very mood. Thank you for watching my first ever journaling process video. I